Yo, are you constantly getting bullied by the vertically elite?
You're so sad you can't even reach happiness. I bet you don't have to bend over to tie your shoes. If you set goals, can you even reach them? Oh my God, your legs are still swinging while you're sitting down.
For all you guys that are vertically gifted, you. In this video, I want to share a few tips and tricks for all you short kings and short queens. The reason why I'm doing this video is because I'm right now borrowing Blockhead's Yamaha MT-09 SP, and it is an extremely tall bike for my short. So I figured since I'm riding around this super tall bike, I might as well do a video on a few tips and tricks about being vertically challenged myself and how I just navigate riding around on this thing. The first thing I want to talk about is mounting, and that's just throwing over a leg on a bike that's just a little bit taller where you can't flat foot at all. Keep in mind, I can't flat foot for on this thing. I'm literally hanging by my balls. So first thing I do is I actually grab the front brake, I'll throw my leg right over, and then I kind of catch myself with my right foot. While my right foot's on the ground and I've caught my balance, I'll use my left foot for the kickstand. Another way you can do this is you can actually use your left leg to get on the left foot peg and then swing your right foot over. Once you kind of throw your leg over and you're balanced, shift your weight over to the right so your right foot is touching the ground, and then use your left leg for the kickstand. All right, so to go over this a little bit so you guys can see a little bit how I get on this bike, I'll literally walk up to the bike, I'll grab a little bit of the front brake, and then I'm gonna swing my right leg over. So all kind of like at the same time. So it's like brake, and then I'm swinging my right leg over. So it kind of just goes brake, swinging my leg over, and then I'm bringing the bike up. So now that I'm in this position, I'm literally on tippy toes on both feet. So what I'll do is when I'm ready, I'll lean over to the right a little bit, and then my left leg obviously can't even touch the ground, but I'll use my left leg and I'll kick the kickstand. I'm good to go. Again, the other way is very similar, but you're gonna utilize now is the left foot peg. When you're walking up to the bike, go ahead and put your left hand over here. Left leg is ready on the left foot peg. Grab the front brake, same thing. Swing over your right leg using your weight on that left foot peg. And keep in mind, the bike is still on the kickstand. Now, once I'm ready and I'm feeling confident, I'll put my left leg down, and then I'll go ahead and push myself upright. Lean your weight over to the right. Left leg is free, use the kickstand. All right, next, now that I'm actually riding and I'm on the bike, now we're gonna talk about when you're at a stop, like a stoplight or a stop sign. What I do is I do what's called the flamingo kind of pose. So basically, I'll come up to a stop, and then I'll pull the clutch in, and then I'll slow down, and then right when I'm about to stop, I'm just literally gonna put one of my feet down onto the ground. I'm not a professional teacher, I'm just talking from experience, but I think the proper way, when you're coming to a stop, you'll pull the clutch in. Once you're getting slow enough, you'll put your left foot on the ground and leave your right foot on the foot peg, utilizing that rear brake. Me personally, I actually am better at just balancing on my right foot. I keep my left foot on the peg while my right foot's on the ground. So yeah, that's just me. So make sure you guys go out there and you practice what you're more comfortable doing. All right, guys, I'm gonna hop on the bike and I'll try to walk you guys through so you kind of have a visual of like my POV of when stopping and what I do. Also, the sun is getting closer and closer to me. When I first got here, the shade was a lot farther. It's getting hot out here. If you guys haven't, I'm just doing this to make this content for you guys. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel and like this video, please, because I'm out here burning it up all for you guys, because I want all my fellow short people to be out here riding motorcycles and having a good time. All right. Oh, woo, the seat is super hot. All right, so let's just go this way. Nice controlled lot to do some practicing in. Let's say there's a stop sign in front of us. I'm gonna pull the clutch in, start slowing down with both front and rear brake. I'm gonna put my left foot down. There you go. So my left foot is down, my hand is on the clutch, and my right foot is holding on to the rear brake. Once you're ready to start going, the light turns green, you're just gonna go ahead and get your clutch in the friction zone and start accelerating out of it. All right, let's go the other way, and honestly, it's the same thing. But like I said, I think most people would teach you with your left foot on the ground, with your right foot on the rear brake. But for me, for some reason, I'm just more comfortable balancing on my right foot. So what I would do, and let's just say we're coming up to a stop, I'm gonna pull the clutch in, use both front and rear brakes, and then I kind of start leaning over to the right. And now my right foot is on the ground, and I'll just hang out the light. But again, with my right foot on the ground and my left foot on the left foot peg. It's nice to keep your bike second gear with the clutch pulled in at lights, always looking at your rear view mirrors to make sure that everybody behind you is stopped and no one's gonna come into you. So if someone seems like they're coming in hot at you, you have a little bit of time to react and get out of there. You know what I mean? Back at the stop, again, right foot is on the ground, left foot is on the foot peg, hand on the clutch, light turns green, and I'm gonna accelerate out of it. All right, next I want to talk about different seats. Now, I typically ride a Harley Davidson. I have a Saddleman step-up seat, so that's actually raised my seat about an inch. So I can't even flat foot my own personal bike. But there are so many varieties of seats available. Look up what seats are out there, what people are saying. Does it make you ride higher? Does it bring you closer to the ground? If you don't want to buy a seat, you could actually take the stock seat. They're all held by staples. Undo the staples, shave the seat down, and then staple it back. But I would recommend going to an upholsterer if you're going to try to modify your stock seat. Another thing you could do is actually just use boots or shoes or sneakers with higher platforms. If I use one of my leather boots, I'll actually gain almost like a ½ inch in height. There's tons of options for riding boots, riding sneakers. Consider that as an option that'll actually make you a little bit taller. Now, if you use both in conjunction, where you actually get a seat that brings you a little bit closer to the ground and wear some sneakers or boots that actually make you a little bit taller, all of that will add up and you'll actually be flat footing or at least closer to the ground and a little bit more confident on the bike. Now, another thing to talk about is lowering your bike. A lot of people are going to tell you not to lower your bike. It changes the geometry, decreases your lean angle. Yes, it does actually do all that stuff, and they're not lying to you. But the main goal is for you to just be comfortable on your bike, as well as it's a case-by-case scenario. I live in Florida and there's not many turns and everything. So if I'm a shorter rider and I lower my bike, it wouldn't necessarily affect me as much because I'm not in twisties as much. So that lean angle is really not going to affect me. I'm just riding straight all around Florida. It does change the geometry of the bike, and whatever you do to the rear, you also want to do to the front. So if you're going to lower the rear, make sure you lower the front, or else you'll just kind of have this weird angled thing going on where the front's a little bit higher than the rear. Also, it doesn't even hurt to just try it. If you have a sport bike or a metric bike and you get lowering links, or if you have a Harley and you go ahead and do some lowering shocks, why not just try it? Get them installed, ride around, see how it feels for you. If it doesn't work out and you don't like the way it feels and it changes everything for you, then go ahead and just switch it back to your stock setup. Now, if you're doing slow speed stuff and you're coming up to your parking spot, or you're at bike night, or you're doing a little bit of slow maneuvering, remember to maneuver around with the forks turn and grab a handful of front brake. Always keep the bike upright and straight until you're ready to make your move. Just because we're already short, so if we start to lean over a little bit, it's just a little bit harder for us to catch our fall. Speaking of slow maneuvering, like I said, I'm like basically hanging by my legs on this thing. So the next thing to talk about is getting off the bike. If you need to reverse into a parking spot, because knowing me, I can't reverse into a spot, I'll straight up just get off the bike and then go ahead and start manually moving it into the spot or wherever I need to put the bike. All right, so what I'll do is, bike is in neutral, I would probably turn the bike off, grab the front brake, make sure I'm holding that so I don't roll away, put the kickstand down, get off the bike, and keep in mind my hand is still on the front brake, and then I'll get off the bike. Now that I'm off the bike, you'll use your right hand to grab the rear. In this case, it has the rear strap, so I'll go ahead and grab some of that. My left hand on the left side of the handlebar, I'll go ahead and get the bike upright, right? It's just a little bit. Remember, when the bike is upright, it becomes less heavy. I'll kick the kickstand up, and I'll move the bike. Get it back into the parking spot. In this case, it's in the shade. Freaking seat is hot. And then boom. There you go. Now the bike is in a parking spot. I didn't have to tippy toe it over there. And that's just kind of what I do. And then the same thing. So if I'm gonna move the bike forward, I'll put my left hand on the left side of the handlebar, right side, grab the front brake, I'll lift the bike up. Again, when the bike is upright, it begins to weigh less. What I'll do is I'll kick the kickstand up and I'll put my hip, I kind of put my hip into the bike, and then I'll just go ahead and then move forward. And I need to stop, I'll grab that front brake, same thing, go ahead, find the kickstand, kick it down. And that's all you need to do. Again, if you get a chance, find an empty warehouse parking lot or any parking lot and go out and practice it. I've been riding for a few years and I'll still come to these lots and I'll still put in some seat time and I'll practice because it really just doesn't hurt. I want to continue to keep getting better and better, especially having the disadvantage of being a short rider. Walk through this again because why not? We're about to do it. Getting on the bike, I'm gonna turn the bike on. It's a neutral. I'm gonna grab the front brake, swing my right leg over, and then catch myself kind of like upright. So both feet are on the tippy toes. I'm gonna lean over to the right a little bit, kick that kickstand up, turn the bike on. All right, let's hope I remember how to get home because I just randomly found this place, the perfect stunt lot. Obviously, if you go back there, you can see a bunch of burnouts on the ground. One last thing to also try, maybe get a different bike. If you find yourself in a position and your bike is too tall, why not just go to a dealership and try sitting on a bunch of different bikes? There's such a variety of bikes out there that offer different heights and different styles. So you could always just try switching out your bike. Like I said, I would just recommend going to a dealership, seeing if you could sit on bikes, or if you have friends that ride, ask them if you could sit on their bikes. Just get comfortable on different kinds of bikes. I think that pretty much wraps up my tips and my experience. Again, I wasn't as confident when I first started riding, but I made sure to be out there and always try to get experience, ask questions, and continue to keep learning. Even till this day, I'm continuing to learn. Get out there, get some seat time in, do some research, and just continue to constantly train yourself, practice, and learn. Don't let your height stop you from getting on a motorcycle. It's about having as much fun as you can and continuing to grow your confidence on a motorcycle. Like I said, this bike is super tall. I would never buy this bike, but my bike is in the shop. This is one of those bikes that Blockhead said I could take that he had at the shop while my bike is down. But even though it's a tall bike, I'll still get on it and ride. If this video helped you, please do me a favor, comment below, let me know what tip helped you the most. If you are also a short rider with experience and I missed a tip, or you have something that you do that can offer anybody help, please comment below and let us know what your tip is. That concludes this video. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys, while I burn up and sweat in this Florida heat making this video for you guys. If you guys aren't, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram at IronJMoto, and until next time, guys, peace.